listening to the Narrative Podcast with Halsey Allen. The Narrative Podcast is changing the narrative one episode at a time.
Welcome to another edition of the Narrative Podcast. The Narrative Podcast is the home of original people peace, original people reciprocity, and original people positivity. And I am your host, Halsey Allen. Welcome to the Narrative Podcast. The Narrative Podcast promotes positive reinforcement of original people and original people culture. Welcome to the Narrative Podcast. Welcome all my narrators. Pretty super short, sweet show for you this evening. So I've already done 2 uploads for my weekday editions. This is my third upload of the Narrative Podcast, and that was kind of my goal, to start trying to do 3 times during the weekday to make my presence more pronounced during the weekday, because there's just so much negativity going on. But anyway, welcome to the Narrative Podcast. Here we are, Thursday, weekend right around the corner. It's just so much stuff going on, can barely process it. But we survived, we got through it. This month is pretty much seeming like it's going super fast. The youngsters, they're going back to school, all grade levels, probably in the next couple weeks here. So there's going to be a whole lot of, back to school shopping and all that. But welcome to the Narrative Podcast. Just try to get interpersonal with my listening audience before diving into the content. And speaking about diving into the content this evening, for the new people unfamiliar with me and my platform, how I generally start things off is I give a brief overview of the Narrative Podcast before diving into the content that I'm going to be presenting to you. So without any further ado, let's start at the top. Tippy, the name. I named my podcast the Narrative Podcast because I don't like the false narrative that the media weaves about original people and original people culture. So what I want to do to counter that false narrative is design a platform where I'm uplifting and edifying my people by providing positive frames of reference about my people. So essentially, that's what I'm doing with my platform. I think that's a perfect segue for my tagline, the Narrative Podcast, changing the narrative one episode at a time by destroying negative stereotypes about original people and original people culture. How do I destroy the negative stereotypes about our people and our culture? And by providing positive frames of reference about our people and our culture. And, that's what the Narrative Podcast is about in a nutshell. I exist on this platform to uplift and edify my people and to provide positive frames of reference about my people and my culture. So, because the media intentionally vilifies us, intentionally stereotypes us and stigmatizes us. They use negative imagery to do that. It's a form of psychological warfare. That's why they do it. And they pretty much, they weaponize their content against our people. So, this platform exists to, put things back into perspective about who we are as a people. And, I try to steer the boat back into the direction of, putting out the correct frame of reference about our people and our culture, putting out the correct frame of reference about our true nature. And what is our true nature? Our true nature is kings and queens, gods and goddesses of the universe, and that's how we always need to be represented as such. And the media does not do that. They're always, showing us down bad, disenfranchised, downtrodden, living in real bad situations and circumstances, always going off to jail or engaged in some type of violence against one another, or something low level, low vibrational, and degenerate or criminalistic. So that's why I'm doing this podcast, to just kind of destroy that those negative frames of reference about our people and our culture. I'm also here to inform and educate the listening audience, about the importance of utilizing their platforms to put out positive frames of reference about, our people and our culture, and also to encourage the listening audience to, follow my example and put out positive frames of reference about our people and our culture. So which brings me to the next point. On this platform, I refer to my target listening audience as my narrators, and the purpose of me doing that is just really to, acknowledge the times that we're living in. We're living in the digital information age, and we pretty much do everything online. We gather information. We share resources. We network. We entertain. We shop. We pretty much do everything possibly you can think of. We do it online in the digital space, and and when you're sharing all this information and when you're socializing online, every platform, when you're selling things online, matter of fact, every platform that you have to do any type of interaction online, usually they have a bio section. And in the bio section is a brief introduction to the person who, owns that platform, or whoever platform that is. A brief introduction of themselves. They tell their hobbies, their interests, turn-ons, turn-offs, their religious or spiritual background, political views, etc. And then, in addition to that, they'll upload content to kind of, content to kind of play up everything that they're interested in. So essentially, when they upload their content, they're uploading imagery and source content that is reflective of, what they like and what they believe in, or if they're selling something, they're uploading the best possible images you can see. They want to showcase themselves in the best possible light as possible, and have the most positive images associated with their platform. So essentially, they're telling the viewers, whoever's looking at their content, they're showing them, rather, the best possible version of themselves. Or if you're selling something, the best possible version of your product. Everybody that utilizes, the digital space for whatever reason, whether it's, to socialize, whether it's to, sell product, or advocate for something, or, even shop, because you want to put in keywords and imagery that will, attract certain things to your page. You can scroll through and, it'll just suggest things you might like. But having said all that, to say people are basically telling or narrating their own stories. And I feel like that's what we need to do as a people. We need to tell or narrate our own stories, because if history hasn't taught us anything, it's taught us this: if you don't tell your own story will be told for you. And that's exactly what, when it comes to our people, that's exactly what's happening. The powers that shouldn't be is, telling our stories for us, and they're telling it from a negative space. They're playing up all these negative stereotypes and stigmas, warping and skewing our images and our likenesses to push their agenda. And yes, they have a really terrible agenda in concern to our people. But anyway, that's why I call my target listening audience my narrators. And as narrators, we should be putting out the best versions of ourselves, no matter what platform we occupy. We should be the star of it. Like, that's pretty much everybody's goal, is to, show how good your life is, like how interesting you are, how much fun you have. Nobody really puts up like negative, woe is me content. There's not a whole lot of people that do that. It's like an exception to every rule. Some people are online. They'll literally just be sitting up there, uploading pics in a hospital bed. I just had surgery, y'all, and pray for me, and this is happening, and that's happening, and, this ain't going right for me, and that ain't going right for me, and every other post is pray for me, pray for me. But essentially, what people like to do is tell the best possible story of themselves as possible. They want to show themselves going on the best vacations. They want to show themselves having the most fun with their friends. They might not even be doing nothing, but everybody in the picture is smiling and appearing to have a good time. They want to show that they're driving the best cars, eating at the best restaurants. Just showing all things good about their life. Now, the new generation calls that capping, when you're exaggerating to the point that you're almost lying. But, is it lying or just like, visualizing? So I don't know. But anyway, point being, as a narrator, you should be showing the best possible version of yourself, of your family, of your community. Show you strong, solid, winning in life, triumphing in the face of adversity, giving back to your community, helping your family, just prospering in life, having an abundant filled life. This is the imagery you need to be showing on whatever platform you occupy. Because they're going to show us always going to jail, fighting amongst each other, engaged in some type of, some ridiculous nonsense, something buffoonish, or something very violent. So it's up to all of us to put out the best possible versions of ourselves, and you know, kind of gatekeep the accuracy of our people and our culture. That's why I call my target listening audience my narrators, and that's the task of a narrator. I mean, I'm not the internet police. You can post whatever content that you like, what you're interested in, whatever you believe in, but just know people outside of our culture, even some people within our culture, you're judged on what the content that you're posting online. That's how people engage you. That's what people, form thoughts about you and respond to you and interact with you. So, why not put the best version of yourself? Next point, important thing I need to touch on, or something I feel that will help you, digest the content better. The Narrative Podcast is a positive space. I don't engage in any negative nonsense, no gossip, no slander, no ridicule, no denigrating our people in any form or fashion. This space is just basically here to uplift and edify us as a people. Again, delivering positive frames of reference about our people and our culture, and just basically celebrating everything that we do correctly, applauding those of us that go above and beyond to impact and uplift our communities, and just shed the light on all the positive things we do. So I don't want to expel any energy playing up any negative stereotypes or engaging in any gossip, something that can't be proven as fact. I don't entertain the he say, she say, especially when it comes to celebrities. Like, I don't, it's never been appealing to me. And I also feel, as a people, that's destroying us as a people. It's literally $1 billion a year industry, like billions of dollars is being made off of us, going in on each other online, fueling beefs. Digital media platforms are like literally, lining their pockets with the, with the denigration of our people. And they capitalize so immensely off of us, hurling insults, airing out dirty laundry, and, going back and forth with each other online. It's okay to disagree. You don't have to agree with everything everybody says. We don't all have to get along. It's kind of impossible to like every single person you meet. There are going to be people that rub you the wrong way. There are some people just out there that's just plain unlikable. But what we as a people, when we, kind of don't care for somebody, we shouldn't be using our platforms to air them out and to call them names and to talk bad about them. Just keep it pushing and keep it positive. That's what we should be doing. And, focusing in our energy on solving all the problems before us, and instead of focusing on one person. We need to be, solution based and not be so, emotional when somebody rubs us the wrong way. Now, having said that, however, it's super positive over here. However, though, this is, this is a platform of truth. I tell the truth on here, and if somebody I feel within our culture that has a platform, that I feel is intentionally, misrepresenting our people or intentionally playing into these negative stereotypes and stigmas that the media places over our people for monetary gain, meaning like to make money, to line their pockets by making us look bad as a people, I will call said individual out for that. But other than that, this is a positive space, a feel good, medium, like, because we got enough negativity online. This needs, like, I try to make this, a place where you can feel prideful and, just hear the progression and, know there's, light at the end of the tunnel for us. Not just all the time gloom and doom and, nothing goes right for us. Like, I don't want to, be that platform. So yeah. And then, as a matter of fact, anytime when I bring up, a famous person's name, a celebrity's name, it's really not the clout chase or talk bad about them. I do speak on current events, what's happening around the world, either globally, nationally, or just something within our community. And this usually involves probably somebody from the entertainment industry. When a story arises about them, involved in something negative, when I do my commentary, it's basically to frame it up in the bigger picture perspective. Like, whatever negative thing is going on with them, you can, like, really trace it back to systemic oppression, to, psychological programming and conditioning. Like, pretty much any negative thing in our community can be traced back to, systemic racism, and psychological programming and conditioning. We've been psychologically programmed and conditioned to go against our true nature. We acting in the manner of the people whom are doing the oppressing to us. It could be traced back and linked back to them. So, not saying we can blame all, our problems on, society, the government, and, air quotes, the white man, but, a good portion of it, a large part of it, we can. Because we do have our own in-house issues that we need to work on as a community, as all communities do. But, we can't deny our community has been targeted the most out of any other community. It's not even up for debate. The receipts, we got over 400 years of receipts to back that up. Really over 1,000 years of receipts to back it up if you really, really want to keep it super real. But yeah. Next order of business, the Narrator Podcast is a time-sensitive platform. I try not to exceed 1 hour per broadcast. Number one, first and foremost, this is an audio platform. So basically, I don't want to bore my listening audience to sleep. I want, to make clear, concise points. I don't want to just be talking in circles and rambling on and prattling on and going down rabbit holes. So I just make sure that I'm speaking clearly and I have speaking points. So I'm not just bouncing from subject to subject. I actually have, some type of methodology from the type of content that I'm presenting to the listening audience. I'm going somewhere with it. I also want to make it somewhat entertaining as well, because I'm a content creator. Podcasting is a form of content creation. So, I want to make it appealing. I don't want to just beat you upside the head with the message, but I want to deliver the message But I want to just keep it short, sweet, to the point. Say what I need to say, mean what I say, and just make sure what I say is clearly received. So that's why I try to, not to exceed 1 hour per broadcast. And then last but not least, I refer to our people as original people. And by our people, I mean, black people, African American, Negro, whatever you want to refer to our people as, I refer to our people as original people on my platform for two very reasons. It's historically accurate, and it also referring to us as original people inspires unity. And I'll elaborate a little bit further on the historical side of it. We were and are the original people of this planet. We was here thousands of years before every single civilization you can think of. And we inhabited every single corner of the globe originally. That's what our existence. We are also the original architects, the original inventors. There's not too much that we didn't originally invent. Darn near every modern day convenience can be traced back, the ancient version of it can be traced back to our civilization. But especially here in America in the Industrial Revolution, we pretty much invented everything, but white people got the credit in the history books. So all the people in the history books that they said invented something didn't. They just stole it from their slaves. And we were the slaves that stole it from the slaves and put their name on it. That's why they invented the patent system, so they wouldn't have to, give us credit or pay us for our inventions. And of course, it makes sense that we were always inventing things because as slaves, we was always trying to look for ways to make our work easier. But anyway, that's what on the historical side why I refer to our people as original. And then just a brief sub point that I want to tack on that before I tell you the unity part of why I refer to our people as original people. I want to dispel this false narrative, this generalization that every single last one of us got to wherever we are currently inhabiting through slavery. There's this false narrative in history that, especially here in America, that every single last one of us came over on a slave boat. And, fact of the matter is we didn't. We had a whole entire thriving civilization thousands of years before the transatlantic slave trade. Like I said, it only makes scientific sense if we was here first. Do you think we were just all congregating in one place? You didn't think we just left voluntarily on our own free will and discover, what's over here, let's go over here on our own? Being the first people, we already inhabited every single corner of the globe you can think of. But yet in history, they try to make slavery our most definitive, moment in history. Like we wasn't ruling over civilizations, like we wasn't building citadels, like we didn't just mold and shape civilization. We mothered and fathered civilization. We taught every race of people in the world how to survive. We invented religion. We invented spirituality. Before anything was, we was. Everything everybody knows or professes to know, they know because we taught it to them. So, said all that to say, we didn't all come from slave boats. While slavery did happen and slavery was real, there's a whole lot of, just untruths about slavery. They keep on getting perpetuated. Specifically the point that every single last one of us came, are products of slavery. Like we already existed, like on every continent of the globe you could think of. So don't it make scientific sense that, colonizers enslaved people that were already originally inhabiting land masses, instead of going to one specific region and physically transporting them to another region for thousands of years? It don't make economic sense either, because they was paying people to go get slaves. Do you know how much expensive that was? The slave trade took place long before paper currency. They was paying people in gold, silver, precious gemstones to go get slaves. They was paying people for like 200 slaves that was coming back with like 40. It don't even make economic sense. But anyway, said all that to say, I just want to dispel that false that false narrative about every single last one of us existing in, different land masses, different parts of the globe, that we didn't get there on slave boats. We was just already originally there. We was the original everything. And then the second part, the unity part, where I refer to our people as original people, me saying that is just kind of like, effort to unify us as a people, because there are so many different types of us. We all refer to ourselves as, we all refer to ourselves as something else, nationality, or identify with your nationality for, people overseas. And, we believe in different things, and just have a different cultural background and speak different languages. But, there's a few things that we have in common as a people. First and foremost, we all possess high concentration of melanin, or carbon rather, aka melanin. We also all, being original people, we can all trace our lineage back to the original point of origin for all civilization. So no matter what you refer to yourself as, we're all original. And so that's why I refer to our people as original people here on the Narrative Podcast. If you're still a little gray on my content and where I'm going with this exactly, I'm well over 300 episodes in, and you can catch up wherever you get your podcast information from on all my previously recorded episodes of the Narrative Podcast. Just remember to download it And when I finish recording this one, download this one too. So yeah, that's it. That's pretty much the Narrator podcast. In a nutshell. So diving on into the content of this weekday edition of the Narrator podcast. So as I mentioned briefly before I started the synopsis, I exist here to provide positive frames of reference about our people and our culture. And so the way I do that on the weekdays during my weekday episodes of the Narrative Podcast is the positive frames of reference come in the form of positive news articles. And the reason why they come to me in the the reason why I feel I need to share positive news articles is because we're constantly being bombarded with negative news about our people and our culture. And as I said, the reason why the media does that is a form of psychological warfare. They want us to, see ourselves a certain way. If they're constantly showing these negative images of ourselves, it will embed in our psyches, and we, some of us, not all of us, but the majority of us, it'll resonate in the subconscious, and we'll act out on these negative images that they keep on projecting into our minds. All these negative influences constantly in the on the news, constantly in television, constantly in movies, advertisements, music, negativity. And then, you just really feel you're supposed to act and behave like that. You see, we're going against our true nature. They're programming and conditioning us to go against our true nature by keep on showing us all this negative content. So that's why I share positive news articles during the weekday, is to counter, that negative programming that we're constantly being bombarded with by the media. So I just basically want to tell the listening listening audience, because I'm an audio platform, positive things do happen within our community. There are stories of redemption. There are stories out there of us, progressing, winning in life, triumphing in the face of adversity, being leaders, having answers to, all these problems, that the powers that shouldn't be systemically caused for our people. And just people enjoying their lives, and just being prosperous and abundant. So that's, the positive frames of reference that I showcase and highlight when I'm sharing positive news articles during the weekday on the Narrator Podcast. So without any further ado, my first positive news article of this weekday edition of the Narrator Podcast, the headline reads, Mom and son duo launched newest black-owned virtual speech therapy clinic. And the name of the clinic is called Virtual Therapy LLC. And the mother and son duo is Dr. Henry and Joyce Richardson. So Henry is obviously the son, and Joyce is obviously the mother. So the website where you can find out a little bit more about it is called virtualtherapyllc.org. They assist with a wide range of, services. I just got listed a few of them that they help with. They help with stuttering, autism spectrum disorder, mutism, hearing disorders, social disorders, and language disorders, and many, many more. So it's a virtual clinic. So it's online. This came about the time of the pandemic. This is what caused them to want to open up their own virtual clinic because of the demand for virtual events skyrocketed during the pandemic, and now kind of everybody is more convenient because now everybody just really don't want to leave the house if they don't actually have to. So that's one thing the pandemic did do is who really wants to sit up in the hospital or a clinic or wherever if you don't actually have to? Physically get up to go and go, is that your favorite thing? I don't really think it's lazy, and I think that's kind of the reason why we was in lockdown for them 3 months, because our government, they just kind of test stuff. Just literally be slinging crap on the walls and see if it'll stick. So I think the lockdown was kind of a beta test for all these virtual things that we now have, because we didn't have any virtual nothing before the lockdown. But anyway, I got a little long-winded, kind of veered off-putting. So Joyce has over 45 years of experience as a speech and language pathologist, and Henry's background is in psychological medicine and rehabilitation. So, that's a perfect matchup, to diagnose the different language disorders and, help people, everybody. Speech really is a gift, and a whole lot of people have speech impediments, and that can make people feel really bad about themselves and could lead to a whole lot of other things, because it all starts in the mind. So I know you can hear me. I probably need those services because I have some really thick speech. I have a slight lisp. I know you can hear that, but So their mission is to provide patient-centered care that empowers individuals to achieve their communication goals. To find out more, simply call at 888-855-1301. For press inquiries, contact 909-709-5946 or contact them directly at contact@virtualspeechtherapy.org. So that's that. Join me into giving this son-mother duo a warm narrative podcast round of applause for their virtual therapy clinic, Virtual Therapy LLC. All right, moving right along. Next article on the Narrative Podcast, the headline reads, Olympic triple jumper to launch financial literacy program for young athletes upon retirement. And the sister's name is Katia Orji. She's currently launching a new mentorship career guidance initiative for young athletes. She's putting together a team of professionals from the University of Georgia that specialize in financial planning. The mission for this organization that she's putting together is to help collegiate and professional athletes manage money and investments. So, she's trying to prepare everybody, let them know, hey, this track and field stuff is not going to last forever. You're going to get a whole lot of endorsements. Athletes, they give them like six figures, and anybody without proper financial literacy will burn right on through large quantities of money. So basically she wants to teach them how to become brand ambassadors and how to utilize social media to grow their brand, establish their brand, help them platform onto other platforms to help them acquire more revenue or properties or whatever they're trying to do, or help them, create generational wealth. Because that track and field life, that's not going to last forever, and you want to pretty much don't want to have to work a normal job if you don't want to. So she's out trying to help them maximize, their revenue while they're semi-hot, basically. She's also recently established a mentorship program for 8th grade girls. The article didn't list the name of the program, and the mentorship program for the athletes that she's currently working on is still in development. So she hasn't acquired, all the means to, it's not up and running yet. She's still working on it. But if you want to know her track and field events and how to book her and, what she's currently working on, you can go to her own personal website, kiataorgy.com. And when you get there, you're going to see, she's heavy into, financial literacy. She has a whole bunch of, financial literacy on her homepage, all kinds of tips on how to pick stock and how to create a budget, a spending budget, and just other tips to help you manage the money you have and acquire new sources of money. So outside of being a terrific Olympic gold medalist, she's heavy into financial literacy. So she's trying to help build her community. So join me into giving a warm narrative podcast round of applause for our sister Kita Orji. I hope I'm not butchering her name. Kiata Orji. It just feels weird saying it. I think I'm saying it wrong, but if you know, you know. All right, in my last article this evening for this weekday edition of the Narrator Podcast, the headline reads, "Instead of toys, clothes, or gadgets, this dad bought his 10-year-old daughter, who is a grown woman now, because this article happened in 2016, a vending machine." And this brother's name is Rico Oxendine. I'm hoping it's Rico, because I've never seen the spelling of it, R-E-C-O. It might be Reco. But Mr. Oxendine, took it upon himself to teach his daughter how to, build her own wealth. So anybody that knows anything about side hustles, a vending machine is a very lucrative side hustle. It's, continuous passive streams of income, like you're making your money right back. If the vending machine is in a prime location, devoid of crime, all you have to do is just restock it. You're guaranteed to make your money back on whatever product that you have the vending machine stocked with. Then the article also says she went on to open up her own business, selling candy door to door at various spots called Candy Lovers. Then the article says he invests in small business profits in vending machines, and now he owns a dozen and is currently passing on generational wealth to his daughter in the future, in all future endeavors. So yeah, basically he's like, he's trying to build his vending machine empire, and he wants his daughter to be the heir to the throne of the vending machine empire, which is crazy because I know it's just fictitious, but I think that was actually the plot of, when D.L. Hughley had his own TV show, The Hughleys. I think his character was like a vending machine guy. He owned his own vending machines, if I'm not mistaken. It's been years since I've watched it and it's been on the air, but vending machine business is very lucrative. So, but anyway, like I said, that was my last article for this evening. This was my third weekday installment of the Narrator Podcast, and I hit my goal. Thanks you guys for helping me hit my goal. I ain't even gonna lie, it just kind of been my own laziness, but I'm trying to get better with that, because this is very important content, and that's when we're the most susceptible to the negativity is during the weekday. We don't have a plethora of positive things to watch or listen to during the weekday that involves our people. So I definitely want to be the platform for that, to give you a positive alternative to all this negativity being circulated about our people and our culture. So I'm gonna try it again next week. I'm gonna try to hit 3 days a week next week too. And yeah, so this week was a super good week for the Narrator Podcast, because I hit all my broadcast time at an actual decent time, because usually I start, broadcasting at like 9 or 10 or like 10ish, 10:15, 10:30, and then like not be able to finish before midnight. But this was a good smooth run, and I've had good smooth runs all this week. So, crossing my fingers that I can keep up that momentum. But yeah, this episode, or this, article is over with, so let's put them together. So our brother, Mr. Rico Oxidine, for planting the seed within his daughter with the ideal of creating generational wealth with the vending machine company. So yeah, all right. So now I'm done with my positive news articles. The next section, what I typically do after the positive news articles, I delve into current events, whatever is currently trending on in the world, whether it be globally, nationally, or just something within our community. And the purpose of me doing that is to control the narrative, because like I said, history hasn't taught us anything, it's taught us this. If you don't tell your own story will be told for you. So, that's the purpose of me covering current events. Usually, and I'm saying usually, because I don't really feel this evening that there's nothing going on in the world that needs our attention or really worth discussing. Because like, what do we got going on in the media right now? Nothing super deep. I mean, there's going to keep the Sonia Massey thing is going to keep on having points being discovered. I'm not going to keep on reporting on them until I have full confirmation. So I'm not going to do it all throughout the proceedings, as long as it's in the eye of the public, because we're going to keep on getting new developments every single day. Because this is super huge. Because, we saw her untimely, demise in front of our eyes. So, that's never not going to be trending from like now to the next 6 months. So I don't feel the need to talk about that. The only other couple things that's recently happened is Serena Williams getting turned away at a restaurant in Paris. Not that I'm insensitive to her plight, because that's never a good feeling. She is our sister, but it's like, I don't really feel the need to discuss that. She's a celebrity. She got her pick of literally anywhere she wants to go to. She didn't even have to go out to a restaurant if she didn't want to. She can literally have anything catered to her, in mere moments. So, racism is everywhere. We're not going to escape it. I don't got too much to say about that because, unfortunately, a lot of our brothers and sisters that are entertainers, they feel they can buy their way out of it. You can't buy your way out of it. It's going to follow you wherever you go. And, it's unfortunate that she experienced that at a time, when that city's supposed to be embracing our country for the games, because that's where the Olympics is being held. But it just goes to show you, hey, that's what they think about it. So, it is what it is. Like, she shouldn't be too taken aback. I mean, she grew up in Compton, so California, somewhere in California. Is she from Compton? Let me check. I mean, she was raised in LA. But so she's seen it before. Born in Saginaw, raised in LA. She's seen her fair share of it. Like, she shouldn't be, she shouldn't be like taken aback like that. I mean, it is what it is. She got millions of dollars. It ain't really nothing in it for her to sue them people. I don't think she can, because they got like different laws over there and stuff. Like, I mean, just my personal opinion, I don't think it's all that big of a deal. Stop going up underneath them damn folks, like, period. Like, there's like black establishments in Paris. Like, we got a thriving black community in Paris. You should be able to go anywhere, but might as well go somewhere where you know you're going to be welcome. There's like all kinds of brothers and sisters living over in Paris, like. So I just don't think that's real something to be like, spending too much time talking on. The only other thing that happened is Ben Stiller, who was a comedian, said, "Well, I wish I was black." I mean, like, zero lies detected. Like, you shitting me? I bet you do wish you was black. At least he honest. I bet he does wish he was black. And I ain't mad at him for wishing. I ain't mad at him at all for wishing he was black. The only flaw I can see is he said Kamala was black. But, like, I know you said, dang, Halsey, keep on going hard on Madam VP. I'm just not for the pandering. That's my, like, I have a low tolerance for anybody. Black, white, Asian, anybody that insults my intelligence. After you insult my intelligence, I have zero respect for you. And that's kind of why I'm been going so hard in the paint on, Kamala. It's the pandering for me. I don't like the pandering. If you want to run your little, political campaign, you can do it without all that pandering. You don't have to use all these rappers. You don't have to use all these hip hop slang expressions, knowing you don't say stuff like that. It's just the pandering for me that just turns me totally off. And I'm not too, I'm unfazed by Donald Trump because, like, at this point, should we be shocked about anything coming out of his mouth? Like, I'm desensitized to him, but, like, I get taken aback with her is because it's like she's going above and beyond to, like, pander. Like, you ain't gotta do all that pandering to get the black vote. Just be who you are. Speak how you speak, like, for real. You don't gotta sit up there and just put all that pepper on it, like trying to, you know what I'm saying? Like, trying to sit up there and mimic and try to get a sister's mannerisms down, and you don't gotta do all that. You don't have to do all of that at all. So, like I said, there's nothing too much going on in the world today worth discussing. If I see something super interesting, I definitely cover it this weekend for a full edition of the Narrative Podcast. But this episode is officially a wrap. Thank you all for tagging along with me throughout my journey this week on my weekday installments of the Narrative Podcast. Join me this weekend for a full edition of the Narrative Podcast. Remember to download this episode and all previously recorded episodes of the Narrative Podcast wherever you get your podcast information from. And to stay up to date and current with the most recent episodes of the Narrative Podcast, remember to follow me on YouTube or X, formerly known as Twitter. And the reason why you want to do that is because this platform that I'm broadcasting on automatically uploads to YouTube and X the moment I'm done broadcasting. Like soon as I'm done broadcasting, it automatically uploads to X and Twitter. So you'll be up to date with the newest installment of the Narrative Podcast if you follow me on any of those two mediums. So my YouTube handle is Halsey Allen, and you know, unless you're living under the rock and don't know anything about YouTube, subscribe to my channel, my viewer channel at that, Halsey Allen. Hit that subscribe button, notification bell, hit that thumbs up, like emoji, and then you can also share it to, share the link to, the Narrative Podcast to any medium you want to from YouTube. But probably the most important thing you can do on YouTube is subscribe and hit the like button. Now on X, I'm Halsey Allen on X. I stay good at Halsey Allen at that on X. This is real imperative because you see the entire link. When you hit the link, you will see all the options. The way you can help the platform is, when you're following me on X, click the link, the Narrative Podcast link. And then once you see, the full episode, click the little heart-shaped like button. Click the download arrow, the little arrow pointing downward. Click that arrow, and then also, share it to, any other platform that you like. I'm not too proficient with X, so I don't know if you will get notifications if you follow me on X. But I'm Halsey Allen. I stay good at Halsey Allen on X. And then you should be good and good notified with my most recent uploads of the Narrative Podcast during the weekday. My next platform to follow me on, or the next thing I want to plug, is my book of poetry. I've written a book of poetry titled The Black Card. The Black Card is a 30-page book of poetry chronicling and encompassing all our experiences, everything we experience and go through as a people. It's basically a snapshot of us as a people, all our experiences, all our nuances within our culture. It's a how-to guide for people outside of our culture, but for us original people, it's like a day in the life of black people, the Black Card. So that's what the book's about. 30 poems that are reflective of our people and our culture. It'll make a good coffee table read book. It'll make a good gift. People outside of our culture, this can be a great learning tool for you if you consider yourself open-minded or progressive in your thinking. People within our culture, original people, my people, like You know, you're definitely going to see yourself in all those poems. They're definitely going to resonate with you. You're going to feel a kinship to them. You know, you can definitely identify with every single last poem in that book, The Black Card. So to go check it out, it's only available on one medium, which is poetizer.com. Poetizer.com has a virtual online bookstore, so you want to visit poetizer.com and check for my title, The Black Card, written by me, Halsey Allen. And if you're unfamiliar with poetizer.com, basically it's a platform for writers, novice writers at that, people that's not quite at the professional level, aspiring to want to be at the professional level. It's really cost efficient, you know, a way to get your feet wet with writing books. It's open to all genres of writing, specifically poetry. It's in the name, Poetizer. But also essay writers, you know, people that like to write novels and short stories, even journaling. They're even open to journaling, you know, or just penning out loud letters. You know, any form of writing is welcome on that platform, as long as it's not, you know, nothing that violates their guidelines. They're guaranteed to publish your work. So, like, speaking of publish your work, you know, that's their special feature that they have on that platform. They have a feature that will allow the people that participate in that community the opportunity to turn their work into a book. And so that's what I did. I turned my work into a book. They have a virtual online bookstore for people that opt to turn their work into a book. And then they got all kinds of features, you know, editing and marketing, and, you know, if you can even pay for like illustrations. Now, I didn't opt for all those options. It's still not too late. I still can go back and do it, but for the most part, just go to their virtual online bookstore and go get my book, The Black Card, written by me, Halsey Allen. Next thing I want to plug is my personal poetry blog on blogger.com. It's titled Hallzies Poetry Corner. And what that is, it's a collection of my personal poetry, just a collection of poems that I spontaneously wrote in the moment. Just a whole bunch of poems that I wrote off the cuff. And a couple unique things about the poetry featured on that blog site is that, you know, like I said, I spontaneously wrote them in the moment. I didn't contemplate on the subject matter, on the title, anything. It just, like, all those poems just like legit just came to me, and I posted them immediately. The crazy thing is, they're just so detailed, so intricate, so specific. You know, you would be under the impression that, you know, I took a little time, but I actually didn't. And another unique thing about my poems on that blog is that they're pretty much, anybody can relate to them. They're for everybody. Like, literally anybody can find a piece they can identify with or relate to. Which brings me to my tagline for that poetry blog. Hallzies Poetry Corner, poetry with a passion, poetry for all occasions. And when you read one of my poems, you will find out exactly why I called it that. And then, you know, go check it out. And the way you supported it is go to my link to the poetry blog on Hallzies Poetry Corner, which is www.mrhallziesblogs.com, and just share either the link to my poetry blog on Hallzies Poetry Corner, which is www.mrhallziesblogs.com, or a poem featured on Hallzies Poetry Corner across all platforms. And then also, not to mention, hitting that little heart-shaped like button. And then also I have a little comment box on each piece, so leave me a comment when you visit the blog site. And that's it, and that's all. Thank you guys for tuning in to this weekday edition of the Narrative Podcast. Join me again this weekend for a full edition of the Narrative Podcast. And also just keep an ear out for random uploads during the weekday. But thank you everybody for supporting me. And tune in next time for another edition of the Narrative Podcast. But this one is officially a wrap. Sending you love, light, healing energy to all my people. Be safe out here. The war is definitely on. When you leave your house, make sure you have a phone that has a easy to work cell phone cam. Make sure your phone is fully charged when you leave. For those traveling by automobile, make sure you have a dash cam. Make sure if you're tell somebody where you're going. Let somebody know your whereabouts, because they are not playing with us out here. We got to be ready for anything. But love y'all. Be safe. Join me again for another edition of the Narrative Podcast. I'm Halsey Allen. I'm changing the narrative one episode at a time. I'm asking you to help me change the narrative by becoming a narrator. And while I'm changing the narrative on my end, one episode at a time, as a narrator, you can help me change the narrative on your end, one social media post at a time. Until next time, Halsey Allen in the Narrative Podcast, signing off. And it's like that.
Listening to the Narrative Podcast with Halsey Allen. The Narrative Podcast is changing the narrative one episode at a time.